The Pacers have taken a 2-1 series lead in NBA Finals after a massive win in Game 3. Let's break down the numbers and the key performances real quick, and then we're going to talk about what is going to be an even bigger Game 4 that the Thunder clearly have to win if they want to stay in this series. The Pacers won Game 3, 116-107. They took the 2-1 lead in the series. Benedict Mathurin scored 27 points in 22 minutes and is the most, in my opinion, the reason that they won the game. He came off the bench hot. He lit the Thunder up. He ate up their number one defense, and he was the spark off the bench. Him and McConnell, obviously, with 5 steals, and he played massively as well. Miles Turner had 9 points, 2 rebounds, but he had 5 big blocks. Tyrese Haliburton almost had a triple-double again. He had 22, 9 rebounds, and 11 assists. But this is the most impactful game that he's had in the final so far. And like I've said in other videos, and I'll keep saying it, if the Pacers are going to win the NBA Finals, now they have the lead 2-1, and if they're going to win tonight and any game in the future period, Tyrese Haliburton is the key. He's the X factor. He's the everything. If he's going, they have the best chance to win. If he gives us one of those 14-6 games, then it's going to be a toss-up. It'll favor the Thunder in that, but it'll definitely be a toss-up. Siakam in this whole series is averaging 18.7 rebounds, almost 4 assists. He's playing pretty consistent. He may be the most consistent person over the 3 games, but Haliburton is the key for the Thunder. For the Pacers, and he has to keep coming how he came last game. I forgot what the record was, but it's only had 1 loss, and when he scores 20-plus points and has 10-plus assists, they win. So he just needs to keep doing that, and then maybe this whole discussion around him being a superstar will change, because it's really a stupid discussion, and I'm not going to get into it right now, but he's the face of his team, and like Magic Johnson described, everything kind of revolves around him. They're not. If he played hurt last game, he twisted his ankle or had a lower leg injury the game before. We'll just say that he played through pain and almost had a triple-double, and his team won the game in a convincing manner, in my opinion. I don't think it was as close as the score said it was, but the Thunder, Shea had 24 points, 8 rebounds, but he only had 1 basket in the fourth quarter. He had 6 turnovers for the game. Jaylen Williams had 26 points, 6 assists. He played good, but he shot bad. I don't think he shot that consistently. Chet Holmgren, he played well, played much better than he did in the first 2 games, but Hartenstein kind of disappeared in this game, definitely offensively, but he's not really an offensive factor outside of setting screens and offensive rebounding, but he didn't really do that well in this game either. But the key moment in the game, because the Thunder they came out great, they came out hard, they had the lead in the first quarter, but the Pacers scored 40 points in the second quarter, and it was basically all fueled by their bench, well, really between 2 players, Mathurin and McConnell, and they forced 19 turnovers for the whole game, and they scored on their turnovers. So they did what the Thunder haven't been doing, where the Thunder forced turnovers in the first 2 games, but they just weren't scoring points off of them. But the Pacers just need to keep doing what they're doing. Play with space, play with pace, ball security. They had their turnovers down to 14 turnovers in this game. So, and I'm not sure what the switch was in defense, but they basically said anybody but Shea. Every time he came off his pick and roll, and all his plays, if you pay attention to them, are either ISO or off a pick and roll. So the ISO may be a little bit more difficult for them to guard, but they did pretty good in the last game. But the pick and roll, every time he came off of it, they doubled him. So they said anybody but him. And that's kind of how it should be. He's the MVP, so I would prefer anybody else on his team to beat us except for him, since he's ate them up for averaging 36 in the first 2 games. So, but the Thunder just going to have to keep the turnovers down. They don't usually get 19 turnovers. I think they'll play much better tonight. I really expect them to play much better tonight. So I think Shea, like you saw in game 2, after he was inefficient in game 1 and he was inefficient again in game 3, I think he's going to come back hungry and more focused tonight. I'm sure he watched the film and saw how the defense was guarding him, so he'll be prepared for all those adjustments. So I would expect a normal Shea game. Um, we'll see what happens with the free throws because the referees are really letting you guys play, and I appreciate that. But even if he doesn't draw a lot of fouls, I still expect him to play more efficiently. And I think I think everything will be okay. I expect a close game. And for the 4th game in a row, the Thunder are favorites to win the game, even though they've lost 2 games. But they're the favorites yet again. They're 6-point favorites on DraftKings. The over-under for the game is 226 points. Like I said, the Thunder are the favorites. So if you've been betting on the Pacers 2 to 3 games, then you probably came out good and won some money. So, but one thing I do want to add is the Thunder not only need to win this game, they need to win game 5 as well. But obviously they have to start here and win game 4. But historically, when the series is tied 2-2, the winner of game 5 usually wins the NBA championship. So that's why I say if the Thunder survive tonight and win this game and tie the series again at 2-2, they still need to win game 5 if they want to win the NBA Finals. And I saw earlier where the Pacers haven't lost a back-to-back game in a while. So I wish them good luck on that. But winning game 4 is going to give them new life. It'll give them momentum going back home, which bodes well for them because if they win tonight, tie the series, they go back home, they'll have the momentum. Their home crowd is great. The Pacers didn't play great there, so if they win tonight, it looks like the series could be back in their hand again. So we'll see. I picked the Thunder in 5, but obviously my prediction has been blown up. So we'll see what happens. I still think the Thunder are going to win the series, regardless. Maybe I'll look dumb at the end, but maybe not. I think I'll be fine. But obviously, if the Pacers go 3-1, they're probably done. Maybe they win a game, the Thunder, but the Pacers are more than likely. They're not going to lose 3 games in a row, more than likely. So if they win tonight, then it's probably over at some point in the very near future. So the Thunder absolutely have to win this game tonight if they want to continue their journey on the NBA Finals and for the rest of this remaining series. Like I said, Tyrese Haliburton played injured last game. Miles Turner's dealing with an illness, but he's expected to play tonight. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think Benedict Mathurin will have a repeat performance? He's been kind of streaky in the playoffs. He's up and down, but his minutes are also kind of up and down, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I'm sure he's going to get opportunities tonight after the performance that he put up last game, outscoring his minutes. So 27 points in 22 minutes, I think they will give him the ball and give him a chance. He's on a heater. He's instant offense when he's going, so but he has a tendency to stay in foul trouble. So we'll see what happens tonight and how the referees call the game or whatnot. But if it's anything how it's been, then, well, we'll see about that. But I think Benedict Mathurin is another key outside of TJ McConnell. They're obviously not getting much out of their starters outside of Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Haliburton. Turner's been playing great on defense. So, and Nembhard, the Stars have been playing well. So I apologize. Let me retract my comment. And the Stars have been playing well. The Pacers just need to keep doing what they're doing. But the engine to the whole thing is Tyrese Haliburton. And if he doesn't play well, then none of this even matters. Shea is going to have a bounce back performance, like I said earlier, for the Thunder to even have a chance to tie this series. He's not going to be able to. I don't think he'll be able to have another inconsistent shooting performance, and whether he scores 30 points or not and them have a great chance to win. He has to be efficient for them to win, and I think that's the best chance the Thunder have tonight. Obviously the other guys are going to have to chip in like they did the last game, but Shea is going to have to be more MVP Shea and not human Shea. Um, Game 4 is tonight. Leave me your predictions down in the comments and tell me what you guys think, and who do you guys think coming out on top? Do you think the Pacers are going to go up 3-1, or do you think the Thunder are going to tie this thing at 2-2 before they head back to Oklahoma City for Game 5 regardless? Let's shift gears 1 second. I know we're focused on the NBA Finals, but I'm sure you guys have heard the rumor mill churning lately, and a few interesting things that came out. We all know the whole Knicks debacle and them trying to hire other teams' coaches and being denied. I'm not sure how everybody feels about it. I'm not even sure why, and I agree with most people online and on TV that I'm not sure why they fired Thibodeau in the first place, one. And two, why do this without a plan? And there's nothing really much to say about that because I don't know. It just seems like after they had two back-to-back 50-win seasons and seemed like they were actually headed somewhere, now it just kind of seems like the same old Knicks, just the disaster that they are. And I appreciate it as a Miami Heat fan. And the other thing that's been brewing, and I think it's weird when news like this comes, especially like before the season ends, but I understand most everybody team's season is over except for these two teams that are left. So I guess they still have to do business. The draft is coming up in a few weeks, but they were saying that Kevin Durant may be traded in the next few days or basically definitely before the draft. But they noted that the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Miami Heat, and the Houston Rockets are the most likely places that he would land. Let me know what you guys think. Or I saw where the Clippers kind of emerged in the conversation, and I don't think that would be a great move. They would just be getting older, so I don't think that's a great move because of Kawhi's health up and down, and I don't know. I don't think that's a good move because all your superstars would be what? Well, no, Kawhi's not as old as those two, but Clippers wouldn't be a good move. But Miami Heat, I don't think they have the assets to do it. Minnesota Timberwolves would probably be the best look, but there's no trade if I'm the Suns trying to get in return that doesn't start with Jay McDaniels and Dante DiVincenzo. So they're going to lose some depth. You're obviously doing these type of trades. Nickeil Walker-Alexander may be another part of that. So does Minnesota really want to touch what they have to go get them, or do they want to try maybe draft or sign somebody or make a different type of trade that could give them what they need to get over the hump? Because gutting your depth isn't the best option in my opinion. And Houston Rockets have the picks and they have the depth, even with if they got Durant. But I just truly don't think that the age timeline matches. And that's the only thing I really have to say. I know he's still balling, and I know that he's probably not going to retire for another few years as long as he keeps playing how he's playing. But all the other guys are like 27 and under, outside of maybe one or two, like Jeff Green or whatever the case may be. So, but I just don't think their timeline as far as age matches up. So I'm not sure where he goes. I would love for him to end up in Miami. Miami's already said they're not trading Bam or Tyler Hero in anything that brings Durant, and that's fine with me. Everybody else could really go, in my opinion, and we can try to build around that. We do a good job with developing players, and we could probably get a lot of people to maybe want to come to Miami. One, if Pat Riley takes a step back, and two, if we get Kevin Durant, which I think people like playing with Kevin Durant. But that's just my opinion. And where do you guys think KD lands? What team would you want him with? Do you want him with your team, whoever your team may be? But let me know where you guys think KD lands. Giannis, not going to really talk much about that because who knows what's happening. He said one thing overseas in Greece that trying to win a championship with the Bucks, so there's been speculation that he's going to stay. So Where do you guys think Giannis plays next year? Me personally, I think it's the Bucks. I don't really see a reason to leave. Well, I do, but and go where? Because kind of like the Durant situation, any team you go to is going to gut their depth. And are there any pieces out there that can be traded for or signed that are going to make whatever team you get traded to a championship contender? So I guess you have to ask yourself those questions when you're making these moves, or if you're the person that wants to get moved. So that's the latest on the NBA rumor mill, and that's the latest on the NBA finals. Please like and subscribe and keep coming back for more. We will come back to you again. I want to come back after game 4 and do a live reaction. That is my plan. That is what I want to do. I pray that I can get it done, and I will try to get it out to you. And I will try to get on live and get with you guys and get this all going for the first time. So bear with me. I'm working on some things, and thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe again, and I will see you next time. Bye.